Alright, what's going on, guys? So it is super windy. So today, it is a Thursday, I should be at work, but hurricane or tropical storm Nicole is kind of moving through South Florida, or at least South Central Florida. Anyway, this part of Florida and where I live, we got nothing. I'm down on Virginia Key, just rained a little bit, it's sunny right now, but it is very windy. The water levels are really high, it's really choppy, really murky, so fishing, I don't know how it's gonna be, but I got the day off, so I wanted to fish anyway. We're gonna be trying out these Fishbites. So I have a trip coming up in the next week or so, and sometimes when I'm traveling it's hard to find bait, so I wanted to try these. I've heard good things about it, but I've never actually fished it before. So before kind of going all in and taking this with me, I want to try it out, see how it works. The conditions aren't the best for fishing, but hopefully we can still test this out and see how it goes. So let's cut this thing into little chunks. We'll put it out on a little hook and we'll see what we can catch here. Alright, so there it is. Just got to put a little piece on a size 12 hook. We got a 1 ounce sinker there, so I'm just going to drop this down. That has like the texture and consistency. Reminds me a lot of that like gum that used to be sold in like the circle. I forgot what it's called. Like the gum roll thing from like, I don't know, late 90s, early 2000s. But let's drop that down. Hopefully the fish like it. Current is ripping through here. I can't really feel the bottom, but hopefully I'm on the bottom, and hopefully there are some fish that are out there. Got him. First fish of the day. It was a little bandtail puffer that just dropped off. Oh, there we go. First fish of the day is what? Alright, so first fish I hooked was a little bandtail puffer that dropped off. And then on the very next drop, we got our first fish of the day, which is a little white grunt. So white grunt on the Fishbites. That's a bigger fish. Wonder what that is, if we can get it in. It's gonna be tough on this medium leg gear. Hold a nice amount of drag there to start. I can see the shadow of it. What is that? What is that? Is that a parrot? Let's tighten the drag up here. I think that's a parrotfish. Let's flip them on up here. Fish number 2, nice parrotfish. Alright, so this guy put up a really nice fight. Fish number 2 is I believe this is a red tail parrotfish. So nice little catch. So 2 fish on the Fishbites, and that was a cool one. Got him. Let's see what this is. Another grunt. Alright, second grunt species of the day. This is a little juvenile French grunt. Again, of course, on the Fishbites. So the Fishbites seem to be working. I am pleasantly surprised. So let's get this guy back and let's keep fishing. There we go. That one feels a little bit bigger than those grunts, but I think it's just a bigger white grunt. Yeah, so it does just look like a bigger white grunt, so that's what it is, but not bad. We're getting some nice action here on the Fishbites. There we go, right on the drop. Another grunt. Yeah, so this spot always has a lot of grunts, usually white grunts with some other ones mixed in. But third white grunt of the day. At least the grunts like the fish bites. Now let's see if we can catch some other species besides just some grunts. There we go. Let's see what we got here. Looks like a porkfish. Alright, so we got a nice little porkfish grunt. It is a grunt, but it's a really, really good looking grunt. So I think it's our fourth species here on the Fishbites. I've got to say, I am getting some bites. Not as much as I would expect if I was using regular natural shrimp. And also, I'm not getting as many hookups. I'm getting, like I said, an okay amount of bites, but my hookup ratio is not very good. But let's keep fishing. Let's try to get some more fish. There we go. See what we got. This looks like another grunt. Yeah, so plenty of white grunts here, like always in this spot. But we got another down on the Fishbites. Getting bites, not hooking up with too many. But let's keep fishing. Hopefully we can get a couple more here before we got to call it a day. Oh, fish on. It's another grunt, but it's a different grunt. Alright, so it's our fourth different grunt species, I believe. This is going to be a little tomtate grunt. So we got a white, we got a French, got a porkfish, which is a grunt, and now we got ourselves a little tomtate grunt, all on the Fishbites. There we go. Looks like another grunt. Alright, so second tomtate of the day. It's just another grunt, but at least we know the grunts like these fish bites. So let's go ahead and get this guy back and let's keep fishing. What we got? What is that? Oh, it's a filefish. Sweet. All right, so this is a neat little catch. It's going to be a little plain head filefish. So really like filefish. Super cool, unique looking fish. Got it on the Fishbites. So let's go ahead, get this guy back, and let's keep fishing for a little bit longer. Another little grunt. Alright, so it's another little tomtate grunt. What I think I'm going to do is we're going to let this one go, and I'm going to switch spots. I'm going to try fishing closer to the start of the pier. I know the water's going to be a little bit rougher there, but here all we're really getting are grunts. So I want to fish there for a few minutes before we call it a day and see what we can get down there. Alright, so chances of catching fish here don't look very good. Normally this water is super clear, and there's some little reefs and stuff down on the bottom. Right now though, that looks a little bit like chocolate milk, so I don't think we're going to get anything over to the right. Let me just flick this toward that piling. Maybe we'll get lucky over there, but it doesn't look good. The conditions today overall were not very good. Even though that hurricane is probably made landfall probably about, I don't know, 80, 100 miles north of here, it still had a pretty good impact on this area. There we go. Let's see what we got here. What is that? Oh, it's a grunt. Yeah, so it's another white grunt. Not as many bites here as over toward the end of the pier. So yeah, let's get this guy back and let's go ahead and wrap it up. All right, guys, so that's gonna do it. Number one, the conditions were absolutely awful today, which probably had something to do with the fishing not being the best. But the main goal is to try out those Fishbites. I've heard good things about them, just wasn't sure how they would work. And I've gotta say, I don't know what I gotta say. They weren't great, but they weren't awful either. I definitely did not get as many bites as I normally get using, let's say, natural shrimp or natural squid or something like that. But I still got a pretty good amount of bites. However, after I got those bites, I did not hook up with as many fish as possible. So normally shrimp or squid or whatever, something natural is usually gonna be pretty soft. So if it's on the hook and the fish bites it, when it bites it, it kind of like collapses on itself or gets pulled off the hook, and the hook is able to go into the fish's mouth. The fish bites, they were a little bit harder. So I had the hook exposed the entire time for sure, I know that. But when the fish would bite it, I don't know if it was able to get to that exposed part of the hook, just because that little bit of fish bite, it was hard and it didn't like slide or move at all, and it might have like covered up some of the hook where it was hard for the fish to get hooked, if that makes any kind of sense. So I got to experiment a little bit longer. Even like some really, really small pieces of the fish bites, they didn't really increase my hookup ratio. But I think it's a pretty solid backup plan. So I would still probably fish shrimp or squid or something natural as my primary go-to bait. But this isn't a bad thing to have just in your bag. It's not going to go bad. It's in a little resealable bag, and it'll last and it'll work. So if you don't have shrimp or anything like that, I think this is a good alternative. So I'll take it with me my next trip. I'll keep it in my bag, so just so I have it. But I don't think it's going to be my go-to. I'm still probably going to go with some natural shrimp or what have you if I have the choice. So yeah, that's my little fish bite review. Hope you guys liked it, and I will see you next time.